4. Okay, so welcome back to another outstanding episode of the Scoreboard Addicts podcast. I am Nick. As with me, as always, is Anthony Rook. And TJ is hammered. Good evening,
What's going on, Nick?
How are we?
So, man, pretty good. What about you?
Another year older, another year wiser.
I was going to start with you boys, birthday boys over here. 1 weekend, 2 birthdays, a lot of whiskey and cigars, I bet.
Yeah. And a bunch of Sean Avery.
Bunch of Sean Avery.
Bunch of Sean Avery.
And Rob, I almost said Rob.
Rob Macchio, yeah.
I always said, I always get confused. I always have to say Ralph Macchio, but it's Rob Macchio, right?
Yes.
Correct.
It's Todd.
Rob,
the Todd.
The Todd.
The Todd father.
Who's also
correct name 5.
Correct name 5.
He's a real estate agent in California too.
Really?
I'd buy a house from the Todd.
I would totally buy a house from the Todd, and
you'd have to have a couple.
Sold 5. I like that. Sold 5. That's what I would do all day.
Yeah.
Oh, that came off his glove. I'm sorry. I'm watching the Yankee game.
I'm watching the Knicks. What's halftime, but it's pretty terrible. Again,
I'm watching Winnipeg get destroyed.
Yeah.
Good. So we got all the bases covered.
Yeah, and actually the thing is, I shouldn't say that's a bad thing for the Knicks because they're not losing by 14 at the half. So this is a positive. They're down 5. So this is like improvement to New York Knicks.
I have the same glove as Austin Meadows.
Look at you.
You use it as well.
How was your?
I would have made that catch.
So how was your holiday weekend, boys? Besides the birthday, also a holiday.
So it rained all weekend. That sucked, right? Because I started building an ark. I don't know about you guys, but I started building an ark, and then it stopped raining, and I was like, "What am I going to do with all these animals?" It was the struggle was real, but I will say I had a great Memorial Day. I spent it with Thomas and his father and Chris.
Nice.
So shout out to Chris and Big Tom.
So it was my invite lost.
Yeah.
That's what you get for not being around this weekend, guy.
So no, I was in Pennsylvania, but then it rained up there too. And it's funny, my dad was building a gazebo in the back. So it looked like he was actually building the ark because he had all the wood out and everything.
A gazebo. So, you fancy. All right. No, but what's cool, we poured a little out for those that didn't make it back on our little golf outing. And of course, we have to keep in mind what the holiday is really about. It's about a remembrance, which I was glad that Major League Baseball this year decided to move the Armed Forces Day back like a week so that on Memorial Day they could wear the poppies on their jerseys. And they were like, nope, Memorial Day is a day of remembrance, and we're not going to celebrate anything. We're just going to have our moment of silence and our day of remembrance. We're not going to have a pomp and circumstance spectacle because that's not what the holiday is about. It's very akin to like 9/11. On 9/11, you don't sit there and wish people a happy 9/11. You just remember what happened and you honor those that we lost. The Memorial Day is very akin to that holiday. So, I'm not saying like, oh, you can't have a good time. You absolutely can have a good time. And I guarantee you most service members would want you to. But at the same time, raise a glass to them, pour a little out, and say a little silent prayer for those that didn't make it back. But not to get too dreary on this fine Wednesday evening.
Well, here's to the servicemen and women. Cheers. Shout out to all servicemen and women, all the veterans, all those that we lost to protect our freedom. So
those that made the ultimate sacrifice.
You realize I did that with a Smirnoff, which is disrespectful probably. But
if you're icing yourself, you got to kind of get down on one knee.
Is there alcohol in that Smirnoff?
Because it might not be.
I'll let you know the boys in the barracks are not choosy. All right. If you ever see the military special, it's like $5.
All right,
and it's rubbing alcohol. So I'm not going to judge you about icing.
It's pretty bad.
Should I go get my Smirnoff? I don't know.
I don't have any Smirnoff in the house right now.
Well, here's the ice that I owe you guys for getting. The Oilers got swept. So cheers, everybody. A bet, I'm met of my word. A bet is a bet, and I do come through here. So
bet is a bet. See, now I got to take a walk and go get mine.
I thought you weren't drinking.
Open your throat.
All right, TJ. So you have your Smirnoff too, then?
Yeah, since I'm down to, I owe 2 ices. I just went with the Monster.
All right, that's fair. I should have done that preemptively.
You know what that is? That's him taking care of the environment because now he's not using 2 bottles.
And he's not using the scoreboard.
here at the Scoreboard Addicts podcast, we care about the environment, all right, as evidenced by our dear friend TJ, who is hammered or about to be.
God, that's
Down on one knee.
that's rough.
Oh, dear God.
I can't believe he's doing a, what is that, 24-ounce one?
I don't know. I think you have to do it in milliliters. I'm a leprechaun.
Would you finish
All
it?
right, that's pretty gross. I'll keep going throughout the podcast.
Oh,
All right.
God.
Oh,
That's
my
brutal.
God.
I can't believe
See, that was the only thing good about COVID. I could drink anything now.
No flavor.
No flavor.
I feel like
no
after
taste.
sipping on this, I'm just waiting to get picked up by some jock in a bar. It's like, hey, you're pretty. How many of those did you have?
Well, that's
We're
not
gonna look-
untrue.
We're going to look pretty to you soon once you finish that thing.
You guys
It's
always
not
look
bad.
pretty to me,
Yeah. Oh, thank you, TJ. I'm flattered.
especially on the golf course.
Yeah, I was shooting a nice 144.
Listen, something about a man playing with his two white dimply balls. Just all right, we won't go into that. This is a podcast.
Well, speaking of
Family
ice,
show.
well, speaking of ice, let's go into the NHL playoffs and the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are quickly putting me in a hole for ice, leading 2-0 over the Carolina Hurricanes, who are favored in that.
I don't mean to
road.
jump right into it, like just go right into douche of the week. But Tampa Bay Lightning, their arena, their
That's
organization, douche of the week, douche of the year, possibly. I mean,
100%.
how do you make an 11-year-old? You're going to call the cops on him if he doesn't take off his Florida jersey last series, and now they put out an all-out ban on away jerseys. It's ridiculous.
I
No,
think they switched it. I think they switched it already. I heard recently they're relaxing the rule and they're allowing.
How
What
is
kind
that
of
ever
rule is
like a rule?
that. How was that ever put in place?
How did
No, it
the
shouldn't be.
NHL, as messed up as they are, they should have reached out to Tampa Bay like, no, you can't do that. Like, you can't do that at all. It's not even almost something kind of thoughtful that you might want to do one day. No, that is never a thing.
Yeah.
You're gonna tell the opposing team's fans and who are like people that live in your state. It's not even like they're out of towners. They probably didn't even leave the town. They're from Florida. And you're
Listen,
gonna tell them they can't be there?
I mean, not for nothing. Go ahead, Tampa Bay. Go across all sports. Do that for the Devil Rays. You'll never see another Yankee jersey in there. There'll be 7 fans every game. Congratulations. Have a good
7.5.
Yeah.
It'll be 7 geriatrics that got free seats and a midget.
Did you guys watch that video? That video was hilarious. The guy's like, "Is this Gary Bettman's doing?"
Yeah.
Like, does Gary Bettman know this? Yeah, Gary Bettman gives a shit about you, guy. Calm down.
He might.
Gary Bettman's evil. He's not that evil. Jesus, guy.
He might be. That'd be pretty funny.
But
Just sitting there like Mr. Burns. Excellent.
He's like, "Get that 11-year-old out of here with this Florida Panther jersey.
Make him cry.
Release the hounds."
You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of Mr. 3000 when the ball goes into the seats and he goes out there. He's like, "Give me my ball." He's like, "Well, you're gonna give him a shirt or your bat or something, right?" He's like, "No, give me my ball." And he steals the ball from the little boy and makes him cry. That's what that was.
It's pretty much it. I think I don't know what happened to the resolution of that, but hopefully they didn't get kicked out. But
Hopefully they had to grovel and like give 30 signed sticks and buy that guy 6 Panthers jerseys as a mea culpa.
I mean, they had to do something. I mean,
This is a shame. This is embarrassing as an organization. They should all be embarrassed.
They should be
Yeah, that's
embarrassed more
ridiculous.
so
I
that
could see
their
if
own
somebody
fans
wore a-
didn't buy the tickets.
yeah.
Listen, if somebody wore a Tom Wilson jersey in there, I can understand. But
Well, I mean, we could get kicked out of that. But I mean, that's Tom Wilson's a jerk off. You should get kicked out if you're a Capitals fan in your own building wearing a Tom Wilson jersey.
not for nothing. Way to go, Reeves, to get added to that jerk off pile with what he pulled. I mean,
Yeah,
Jesus.
that was pretty bad. That he got 2-game suspension. So moving into that game, because that game was brutal as well. 7-1 Avalanche. They look like a wagon, just dominated
Yeah.
the Knights. That was embarrassing. They play again tonight at 10, but we're going on Wednesday. But Jesus, that's gonna put me in another hole. I'm another ice.
Yeah,
league.
listen, the Avalanche is the only thing I got going for me right now in my 4 picks.
My picks are
Yeah,
doing pretty
sure.
decent. And I still think the Golden Knights are going to win. You have a bad game.
Yeah, it's one game. I mean, it's a 7-game series. You never know. I'm actually intrigued by the Islanders Boston game. I think that's
more evenly
serious.
matched, I think.
It's more evenly matched. It's already 1-1. They had a great overtime victory for the Islanders. And I know you guys don't like the Islanders, but I like their fans. I don't know. I think they're nuts. I think they just like to have a great
all
time.
6 of them. Listen, in the words of King Avery, all right, they get sold out by Ranger fans in their own barn. All right.
I don't know who to hate more on this series though. It's you don't want to see the Islanders move on, being from New York and being Ranger fans. But I mean, I can't sit there and root for the Bruins. I mean, the only thing I'll give them the original 6 respect.
I'll say this. You know how I feel about it? It's like the same way I feel like when like Boston plays the Mets in the World Series or the Patriots play the Giants in the Super Bowl. I hope the stadium collapses. That's all I can get. Like that's the only thing that's like possible. Like, oh, it's a tragedy. Yeah, but at least neither one of them won.
I can't believe it. They all fell through the ice. It was just a pond there.
I have flashbacks to that freaking Batman scene when Hines Ward is running and everybody else just falls in. And I'm like, why can't that happen, man? Like, damn, not good enough,
Yeah, but that's going to be a good series. I mean, a good finish to the series. I think nobody really stands out as the clear victor. I think the Islanders have a little momentum going in, but that's going to be a hard-fought game. Hard-fought game. That's gonna be a great Game 7. I mean, you want to see, especially East Coast grinded out hockey. You want to see those all go to Game 7.
Yeah,
that's the most me for my money. I think NHL playoffs is the most entertaining sport.
Yeah, it definitely is. I definitely enjoyed it a lot. And speaking of obviously why TJ owes us an ice, 2 ices, and Nick owes us one, is because the Toronto Maple Leafs are now the longest. The longest drought in NHL history, surpassing the New York Rangers of 55 years without a Stanley Cup after they blew a 3-1 lead. And they were favored in that bracket. They were number 1.
Nope.
The Canadians came back down 3-1. Carey Price standing on his head, bringing that team into this game. And now they're leading against the Winnipeg Jets right now.
And what is that? That was the Leafs, 4th collapse in like the last 10 years or something like that?
I would, definitely say that. I don't know the exact number, but it's definitely. I feel like they had a collapse earlier. Maybe not last year, but the year before, maybe 2019.
Right. What's even crazy is I don't think a Canadian hockey team has won the cup in 30 years, something like that, more than that.
And because of COVID, they're going to have a pretty good shot because they're going to have at least one Canadian team come into the Final Four. So with the Canadians and Winnipeg, so we'll see what happens there.
Other than other than me picking them to win that bracket, I honestly couldn't care less about the Maple Leafs. But damn, if Islanders fans ain't still salty about Tavares, like Islanders fans, let it go. He doesn't play here anymore in New York. Like,
the visceral hate is all sad. I mean, he's a great player. Listen, it's bad when a player wants to leave and go to Canada and pay more money in taxes.
But he's Canadian. You can't get. That's his hometown team.
Yeah, I get it, but listen. There's something to be said about leaving an organization and going. And what's crazy is that organization got tremendously better once he left.
They did.
I mean, a complete regime change, and you had Lou Lamoriello come in, and I mean.
But yeah, honestly,
what he's done for that organization is.
I saw Islanders celebrating the fact that the Leafs won more than they did moving on to the next round. Like Islanders fans were more excited that John Tavares got kicked out of the playoffs than they were.
Was he hurt?
Yeah.
He got hurt though, right? He wasn't healthy.
Yeah, dude. He had to get carted off the ice. That was bad. The trainer was dude, he got up on his knees and he just started falling back. The trainer had to grab him. And if you look at the statement was very somber from the Leafs. Like, all right, he's after being monitored for 24 hours, he was allowed to go home. Like nothing good.
Yeah, I don't think he didn't play in that Game 7, right?
No.
So, like, for Islanders fans to try to cheer that they lost, I mean, he wasn't even playing. It's like
it doesn't matter to them. They are like the girlfriend you broke up with that still loves you, but she's like, I broke up with him. He walked away. Like, just all right, fine. Like I don't get mad when people don't want to play for the Yankees or don't want to play for the Jets. I'm just like, all right, goodbye.
Yeah,
I'll see you later. Like Jamal Adams left and went to freaking Seattle. Like. I couldn't care less what he does in a city that doesn't matter. He's playing football in the freaking the autonomous zone, and Pro Football Focus just ranked the guy that played with him as a better safety. So we traded our numbers 2 safety for 2 first-round picks. I ain't mad. But like Sean Avery says, Islanders fans are just mad because he didn't tell them up front, I'm not going to stay here. Like he's supposed to be like, yeah, I'm not going to stay here at the beginning of the season so they can shit on him the whole year.
Yeah. How dare I have a choice? What an asshole.
Well, what's the other series that's left? I mean, we covered all the ones. I'm trying to think who else is playing. The Boston Islanders,
Avalanche, and
Knights. Oh yeah,
Knights.
Winnipeg Canadians, and then they have the what we already went over.
Florida Lightning
versus, Hurricanes. So that's basically that's all NHL playoffs. It's where we're at, where we stand, and everything.
We hit them all. I expect more from the Hurricanes, but we'll see.
Yeah. It seemed like, because it's crazy, it's only 8 teams left. You start with 16. I'm thinking there's like all these games. Now there's only 4 games for us to talk about. So it's quicker for us to get to these playoffs now. Yeah. So moving on, speaking of playoffs, obviously the Knicks playoffs, they're playing right now. They're losing by 12.
Oh, that's good.
And they've been dominated thoroughly throughout this. Besides that one game they won.
But just a terrible showing. I mean,
Julius Randle disappeared. I mean, he was having a great year, but I mean, it was, first time for him to have that good of a year. He's named most improved player, and the playoffs come and he just shrinks. I mean, most of these guys don't have playoff experience. RJ Barrett's first time in the playoffs. I mean, Rose is experienced though, but Rose is older. He's not the same player he used to be, but I mean, he's playing great though. I'm not trying to rip on Rose because Rose has had a great series, but
yeah, but that team has to play like a team. You're not leaning on one guy. You have to play like a team. But I mean, when it's just they haven't shown up. It's obvious they haven't shown up. They don't have that same fire. They don't have that same momentum going into the games. And now
Trae Young is starting trash right now with Tracy Morgan. I don't know if you guys are seeing this. He's talking to Tracy Morgan, and Tracy Morgan's like, "Yo, don't talk to me, bro. I ain't trying to start no beef with you."
You know what happened though too? Alec Burks was huge in game 1, even though they lost that game. He has not had a really good game since game 1, so that's a contribution too as well. Considering that they're not getting their role players playing here right now.
A lot of people, you get to the playoffs, and they choked in the playoffs. I don't think people take into account that the playoffs, the postseason, is actually a longer season. There are some people that just burn out. They're tired.
Yeah, of course.
Especially guys that have never been to the playoffs before. It's a marathon to get through the playoffs. And then a lot of times you'll hear about the guys that win it all having a hangover the next season because they didn't get the long break that everybody else got. They got a month shorter of a break or whatever the case might be. I mean, however real you want to make that, so we might just be seeing that, maybe Julius Randle hasn't made the playoffs in the last 5 years and he's just exhausted.
Yeah, I mean, and he's been carrying this team too the entire year. And I know we usually hate on LeBron, but give LeBron credit. The guy's been to how many straight NBA finals, and he came back every single year.
He's got great conditioning.
The fatigue.
He can't even finish a game. The hell with Lebron.
Yeah.
Oh, we're losing. I got to walk out.
Yeah, now we'll move on to LeBron now while we watch the Knicks lose. But yeah, they got blown out last night. I think they were down. I think they lost by 30, or most of the time they were down by 30. And then 5 minutes left in the game, LeBron James heads to the locker room instead of sticking around. I don't know how you could twist it. I think only thing I could twist it into is him trying to make the story about himself rather than them, losing.
It's all about him. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
all the attention has to be on
amazing.
Him.
What I'm afraid of is
what, the original?
I watched the original the other day, and I forgot how amazing it is. Bill Murray only plays basketball for about 2 minutes in that movie. He has one play in that whole movie.
I'd rather have Bill Murray on my team than LeBron James.
No, I'm just saying is like in my head, I don't know why, but I thought he was a bigger part of their game. He literally played the last 30 seconds.
Well, he has
that one play where he's like, "Never trust the Earthling," and throws it behind his back, and that's the only play he makes. Mike, I'm open, and that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, but that's clutch.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
he comes out of the tunnel, dude. He comes out of the tunnel as that surprise last-minute addition to the Toons team, and it was epic, dude. And honestly,
look, I'm not trying to take anything away. In my head, though,
don't you dare try to take anything away from Bill Murray. It's still effing Murray.
I'm just saying, in my head, he played a larger role than what I watched the other day.
It's because he's larger than life. I mean, it's Bill Murray. In Caddyshack, you remember Bill Murray in Caddyshack? He was 8 minutes in Caddyshack.
I've never seen Caddyshack.
Just watch the Bill Murray parts, and that's all you need to watch.
Who stars in that?
Bill Murray
and
Chevy Chase.
That's why I've never
Your
seen
boy.
it. Fuck Chevy Chase. You heard it here first, folks. Fuck Chevy
Rodney
Chase.
Dangerfield.
I don't find
Rodney
Chevy Chase
Dangerfield.
remotely funny. I will not watch Chevy Chase in anything.
If you watch
ever.
it for anybody, you watch it for Bill Murray and
That's why I
Rodney
watch
Dangerfield.
Ghostbusters, and that's why I watch Ladybugs. I'm not watching anything with Chevy Chase.
This is why I love talking basketball, because we started with LeBron James. Now we're talking about how much you hate Chevy Chase. And we never stay on topic when it comes to basketball.
I'd rather talk about anything but LeBron James. You know.
All right, well, let's move on then, because obviously, we all hate LeBron, and the Nets are moving on against the Bucks. What do you guys think about that?
Good for them.
Good for
I
them.
think Giannis is a tough call. Is a tough.
I think it's.
I won't call them the
tough
Bucks.
series.
I'll call it the Giannis's. The Giannis's are really tough.
How do you say his last name? I'm not even gonna try.
We got to refer to Yaz. Call up Yaz. Ask him to
I
say
found
for
out
us.
Yaz isn't Greek.
Yeah, but he says every
It
name
doesn't
wrong.
matter.
What name did he say wrong? He says, there was one real bad one. Oh, he used to say Tua Tagovailoa. He couldn't say Tua's name.
You know what though? But Tua's last name has a silent N, but there's no N in that fucking word. His last name is written as Tagovailoa.
Yeah,
But he pronounces it Tongo Vailoa. I'm like, where is this N that you apparently see that's not there? Like,
yeah.
It's like I have a friend whose last name is Ruggiero, and everybody calls him Ruggiero, and I'm like, where are you getting this extra I from? It's not there, folks. His name's not Ruggiero.
I don't know.
It's Ruggiero.
Well, going back to that series, I think it's gonna be a good series. I think it goes 6 games. I think the Nets might still pull it out, and they still have Harden, they still have KD, and they have Kyrie there. So I think and they have Blake. They used to have LaMarcus Aldridge. That's a crazy story about LaMarcus Aldridge. But I don't think we talked about that.
They used to have my boy, Lieutenant, what's his face, Marshall Plumlee.
He used to go the Knicks too.
I know. That's how come I know him.
Yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know, Nick actually was in the National Guard with Marshall Plumlee.
With Marshall
Plumlee. The third
nice,
Plumlee brother.
Nice fella. Really, really nice guy.
Yeah. And
he is now an active duty lieutenant who graduated from Ranger School last year, 2 years ago. He graduated from Ranger School. So he is Ranger qualified in the United States Army. Nice.
That's
fella.
crazy. Yeah, that's awesome. He's a big dude too. How tall is he, Nick? He's like gotta be 7
foot, 7'1".
Yeah.
You
And
don't want to throw a water ball at him.
One thing.
No.
One thing he told me.
We'll get into that stuff too.
One thing he told me was he goes, basketball is so easy. He's like, I suck at basketball, but I'm 7 foot, so I got to play in the NBA. And I'm like, there it is. Basketball is easy. Just be tall. You're automatically hired.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, I was going back to the point where LaMarcus Aldridge, a little tall guy, he apparently suffered from like depression and anxiety and stuff because he had to retire mid-year this year while he was with the Nets due to I think it was like a heart condition, which is like one of those like crazy stories where I guess he had like some sort of, I don't know, a medical appointment or like during the trade or something. Like it showed up that he had this horrible like heart disease. Oh yeah, same thing happened to Hank too. And
he went for his physical once he went to the Caps and find out that he probably shouldn't have been playing hockey for the last 30 years.
And moving on to the NBA playoffs, I've probably been watching more of it than you guys have. You guys are probably more of the NHL guys, but I've been.
Well, speaking about NHL real quick, Rangers with 15th draft pick.
Yes.
I hope to see some kind of package deal out of that. Move out of that pick.
Connor McDavid?
Yeah, just maybe.
More likely Eichel.
Well, the Sabres have number 1. So
yes.
It's good. And the new team, Seattle Kraken, the Seattle Gary Sanchez's have
you know what? At this point, I just don't know who the Rangers are going to lose with that draft. I mean, you can only hold on to a couple players, and that's going to be rough. Yeah.
The second expansion draft in 4 years? Yeah, only 4 or 5 years. Vegas has only been around for 4 or 5 years.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting about Vegas.
Yeah, so it's crazy. I mean, they did a pretty good job last time. They held on to most of the good players. They didn't lose anyone.
You figure on average you're going to lose 1, possibly 2.
Yeah.
But you know what, though? There's got to be better players somewhere along the league. Or not better, but at least on par. The thing the Rangers they have to do is they're going to have to protect their young people, which I don't think you're allowed to protect. 5, 6 people.
That's about it. Yeah.
So they're going to end up. They're going to end up protecting like almost 100% Panarin, Shesterkin, probably Kako, Lafreniere.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Kravtsov. And that's pushing it. Kravtsov is pushing it.
I mean
expansion drafts.
Because it'll probably end up being either Buchnevich, which I doubt. They're gonna protect Zibanejad over Buchnevich.
100%.
And what's his face? And Fox. Who might end up being the next captain of this team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I mean you figure I don't think they would go after Trouba with the size of his contract.
LeBron?
Random bug.
Oh, I thought you were doing the LeBron. Yeah.
No, I have respect for myself. Sorry. But I mean, either way, we're probably going to lose somebody that we don't want to lose, but that's how it goes. And when you're paying that kind of money to get into the league,
they're going to take what's his face?
Yeah.
The backup goalie. Why am I blanking on his name right now?
I can't think of his name either.
Gosh, damn. You talked about Cam Talbot so much last week. I keep wanting to say Cam Talbot. It's not Cam Talbot. It's what's his face? The backup goalie. That's what I'm gonna call him right now. 'Cause I don't know why I'm blanking on his name.
Look it up.
Not even gonna get into that. Looking it up. Nope.
it's embarrassing because
He's
I
a
can't tell you
foreigner.
right now.
Let's
Yeah,
put it like
I'm like,
he's a foreigner. He's not American. I'll put that much out there.
Oh, Georgiev.
Oh yeah. Georgiev. Yeah, Georgiev.
I didn't look it up. It just came to me finally.
Georgiev.
It's good radio, good podcasting.
Yeah, we're good.
Being like
we know
in
sports.
2 minutes. We know sports. We
Right.
promise.
Smart.
Well, before I was really interrupted about the NHL because I know TJ how much TJ hates the NBA. He always switches back to NHL or
Yeah,
Chevy
well,
Chase
when the
or
Golden
movie.
Knights go down, get ready for another Smirnoff Ice, pal. Okay.
I'm ready. I'm ready for it. But NBA playoffs, like I said, I probably watch it more than you guys. You guys really watch NHL stuff.
I'm watching the Knicks game right now.
I'm pretty impressed by Ja Morant. I think Ja Morant is awesome. If you guys watch him play, you probably don't, but I saw a couple of plays by him, and I'm like, holy crap, this guy's good. You just don't see him much because he's on the Grizzlies. Where's he go? He's on the Grizzlies. It's like no one really pays attention to the Memphis Grizzlies.
So, talking this morning, I'm looking through Twitter and I see Clint going viral because of Clint Frazier last night. And I'm going through and I'm looking for Clint Frazier hate because that's what I do. And I see Clint, what is his name? Clint Capella?
Yeah.
Talking shit about the Knicks. About the Knicks. And Derrick
Rightfully so.
Rose and Julius Randle responded back like, well, listen, we're not concentrating on talking trash. Like we're concentrating on playing basketball. Like he could talk trash if he wants, so you're not going to get anything. They took the high road. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And Clint Capella sat there and he was like, yeah, we're going to work on sending them home, sending them on vacation. Dude, I didn't know who you were till yesterday. Shut the fuck up. All right. That's Trae Young's team. Shut up, dude. Like you're just there. I didn't know who you were. Like clearly I know who Trae Young is. It's his team. Like this would be like, I don't know. I can't even think of it. I don't know who else is on LeBron's team.
Well, if you like, I mean, I knew who Clint Capella was before. And I don't, because he's from Houston. He was playing with James Harden a little while.
Where he was not
seasons ago.
Where he wasn't leading that team either. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't leading that team. No, but he's a pretty good player actually.
I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm saying is he's not a player enough to sit there and say
shit.
We're gonna send people on vacation. Shut up. It was like who was the backup quarterback on the Eagles when they were like, yeah, we got a Pro Bowl team. It's the All-Star
Vince Young.
team. Vince Young. Yeah. You're an idiot. Shut up. Okay? Like, shut up. Nobody wants to hear from you.
That's different though. Clint Capella actually starts, and Vince Young is back.
But listen, Tracy Morgan's starting fights with Clint Capella right now.
Now he's starting fights with Trae Young, which is actually pretty awesome. So moving on, another young star that I was watching, Luka Doncic. Obviously, he's not. I mean, everyone knows he's a star, but he's just fun to watch. You watch a game with him. I think they came out of Game 3 against the Clippers, and he went on an 8-0 run and scored 8 consecutive points on himself by himself, which was another impressive thing.
Kid is talented. His mom's not as hot as Lisa Wilson, though.
I mean, you can't stack him up against Lisa.
No, Troyce did that. Episode 1, Troy sat there and he's like, yeah. Zach Wilson's mom's like, Luka Doncic. No, not even close. Sorry, sir.
No, she wasn't. But at the time she was, until we didn't know who Lisa Wilson was at the time. So we all.
He was always royalty. You watch your mouth.
All right, and then
you don't sully this podcast or Lisa Wilson, okay?
And
Queen.
Last night, if you guys were up late like me, watching the Blazers game with Damian Lillard hitting 12 threes, I think he had like 6 of them in overtime. In overtime, there's double overtime. He tied the game at the end of regulation and tied the game again at the end of overtime. And I think they said in the double OT, the only person that scored in the Blazers was Damian Lillard and Enes Kanter. And Enes Kanter scored off a Damian Lillard miss. It's like a 3-foot like little tap in. And it was like frustrating to watch if you're just watching, because you feel bad for Damian Lillard, because obviously, he's just taking over the game. He gets this beautiful pass in between 2 defenders, wide open to this. Who was it? I forgot who it was. And the guy goes with the dunk and just rims it off, and the ball goes flying the other way. And it's like, come on, dude, that was going to tie the game. And then then the next play, he threw it to CJ McCollum, who stepped out of bounds, and that was the game. That was it. So it was like, if you're watching for Damian Lillard, you just felt bad.
It's like your teammates, you can't rely on them. Portland, and that's a crap town.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's going to leave. I tweeted out last night. I said that SpongeBob meme. All right, I'm going to head out. It's like Damian Lillard in the offseason.
I saw something in regard to like, if Julius Randle was wondering how to carry a team, he needs to watch this Damian Lillard game right now.
Yo, honestly, that was putting the team on your back. That was like Greg Jennings. Remember that old viral batted video?
Yeah.
Put the team on your back, dog. that was Damian Lillard putting the team on the back.
Impressive stuff.
It was very impressive. And then actually, two more things with the NBA, because I'm just taking this over now.
Yeah, if we must.
No, I'm all right with it. Listen, we don't talk about the NBA enough. I just want to point out, though, that the hockey playoffs are like halfway done or a third of the way done or something like that.
And they're still in the first round.
And NBA's still freaking going. The NBA playoffs is like, if you ever watch basketball and they're like, we're in month 6 of the basketball playoffs. That's the NBA playoffs, because they let everybody and their mother make the playoffs. It really drives me crazy, simply because next season your team was trash, barely made the playoffs this year that everybody else makes, right? And then they're like, well, we made the playoffs, so we're not a bad team. You still suck. You had a losing record and you made the playoffs. You're
about 50%.
Yeah.
No, not even
actually more than that now.
More than half the league makes the playoffs.
Because now they're playing games, 10 teams each league. So it's 20 teams.
Madness, dude. Madness.
So it's actually more than
why even play a season? Just play week by week, and like the Knicks will be out by week 3 of the NBA season, and we don't have to watch anything for the rest of it, because the whole season might as well be the playoffs. Like I've never seen a playoff so long as the NBA. They will be playing this playoff into freaking August.
I mean, let's be honest, and this is why basketball isn't my sport, and I will say that with an asterisk, because I will watch the NCAA Final Four and March Madness, because it's actually exciting, the entire game. Yeah. But you could turn on any NBA playoff game and just watch the last 2 minutes and be fully caught up. Go do that with hockey and see where you're at. Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, that's why basketball is not in my top tier of sports. It's just, if I can watch 2 minutes of your game should just be 2 minutes. Hey, we brought everybody out here. We played 2 minutes. That's it. Done.
I'm sure you play 48 minutes and like 45 of them are just like back and forth scoring.
It's a waste of time. Yeah, I mean.
And then someone plays defense till the last 3 minutes.
I've been saying,
unless you're the Knicks and you're down by what, like 16 right now?
No, they're down by 9, I think. But if it was me and I ran the NBA for a day, I would put a midget on the hoop with a blindfold on and a stick. And he plays like goalie on the hoop, though, because like if you're 7 foot, dunking is not an accomplishment. It's like, okay, I put my hand up and I touch something. Whoop de friggin' do. But like, put a midget up there. It just got interesting. Like, because what happened? Balls. What happened to what was that NBA league where you could rock each other and you're on trampolines? That was the shit. Slam ball.
Yes.
Coach Carter coached in that league.
Oh,
I watched Coach Carter over the weekend. Coach Carter was a slam ball coach.
Was he really?
Yes, he was.
That at least had some legs.
Good backstory. I never seen Coach Carter.
I miss Spike TV.
Spike TV was, now it's Paramount. Yeah, Spike became something else, and then it became Paramount. The 76ers just won, so they move on. They're going to face off against the winner of the Knicks-Hawks, which will probably be the Hawks right now. Then you also have, with them, had the big injury, Joel Embiid, who is the MVP candidate. Torn meniscus, slight tear. They said he actually might be back.
Yeah, me too.
For the next series, which is kind of crazy. But they said
I've had a slight tear in my MCL for the last 6 years.
Yeah, you think so?
It ain't that bad.
No, that's one of those things. They're like, maybe it'll go one day, and we'll deal with it then.
Yeah, exactly what it is. What they're hoping for is to be hold up until they can win a championship or something this year. But the funny thing was, Stephen A. actually recently said he's like, I see the 76ers winning a championship in the next 3 years. The very next game, Joel Embiid tore his meniscus, which is like, thanks for jinxing us, Stephen A. And
then a no-hitter.
Yeah, he's throwing a no-hitter. And then the last thing is Kyrie Irving, being Kyrie, obviously returned to Boston when they played against the Celtics this series. They won 4-1. But I think it was game 4. He walked on half court at the end of the game and just stomped on the Celtics face, the logo, and scraped it. I was like, all right, Kyrie.
But that's the thing. I mean, that's that's the NBA equivalent of doing something tough and showing the crowd. I mean,
it's like the Tavares, the Islanders type of thing. It's this is my ex-boyfriend.
Right.
And, show them all.
But that was my thing, is that he played for the Celtics, and I'm sorry, but he's not there anymore. But I didn't know there was bad blood.
Yeah, I didn't get that because I think he left on his own.
Yeah. So
I didn't realize they had such terrible blood that he.
I'm sorry. I mean, I refer to cool things like when Terrell Owens decided to throw the football at the the Dallas Star, and it fell off the sidewall behind the end zone. That was awesome.
They had a big fight in the middle of the Star.
No, that was Woodson hit him. Darren Woodson.
Yeah.
Wood on him for posing on the Star. But you know what? That's different though. He was an opposing player disrespecting an opponent, but he never played for Dallas. That was just him being an asshole coming out of Dallas.
That's before he played for Dallas. That was when he was in the Niners. Because he did eventually play for Dallas.
Did he?
Yeah, he played Eagles. Well, he went to the Super Bowl, and then after that, he went to Dallas.
Right.
Did? Shit.
Yeah. This is why you had me on this podcast.
This was back when he was on the Niners. This is a long time. This is a long time ago, man. But Darren Woodson, if I remember right, and if it wasn't Darren Woodson, it was somebody wearing Darren Woodson's number, 28, laid the wood on him. And then if I remember right, later that year, he scored a touchdown and then stood on the Star in the end zone on the helmet.
That's what I was talking about. That one when he stood on the Star.
No, before the game started. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I take it back. He scored a touchdown and then ran from the end zone to midfield.
Did it once. They didn't do anything. Right?
No, they hit him then.
No, they didn't hit him.
Yes, they did.
They let him do it, and then he did the second time, and that's when that big melee started.
Yes, but I'm saying is he then did it again in a different game in the end zone on one of the helmets.
Oh, later on, but that was the same game where he did it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the second time he was going toward the end zone. He never made it there because I'm pretty sure it was Darren Woodson came over and just laid some wood on him. Rightfully so.
But at least it's a contact sport. I mean, you could do whatever you want in basketball, and it's like, what's somebody going to do? It's a soft sport now. It really is. Gone are the days where, what was it? What was the series where what team was it that they just came out and tried to hurt Michael Jordan on entire playoffs?
Tried to put money down. I'd say
every time he went into the paint.
The Pistons.
The Pistons.
They just went out with the game plan.
Pistons,
I'm just
right?
We're gonna hurt them.
What was it? What was it? The at the Palace, the
Malice at the Palace.
Malice at the Palace.
Yeah, but that was when he was when Ron Artest was playing for the Pacers though. And
and he went into the seats and punched a fan in the face, and it was the wrong fan.
And that was in Detroit.
Oh,
right. The wrong guy.
He's the wrong guy.
Awesome.
Somebody threw a beer at him. He was like, "You." The guy was like, "Who?"
Yeah. Listen, dude, that was like
Artest came over, boom, and the guy that threw the beer was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, bro, he went full on Jackie Moon. Everybody hit somebody. It's great. It's like when Boston went into the seats at the Garden.
Oh my God. But we gave him some back.
But Ron Artest.
Yeah, there was brawls. It was amazing. I mean, but that's hockey. You know how many fans are sitting there like, oh my God, I wish I was at this game. I could have got a piece.
That's true. But the guy that threw that beer was definitely looking at it like, thank God it's not me, man. Shit.
Oh, that was just definitely like a
Ron
chuck.
Artest
And like,
at that guy and he's like, yeah, man, you saw he threw that beer at you.
Guy's an asshole. Hit him again.
Well, funny thing you guys mentioned all this fan interaction. Ron Artest was ahead of his time.
100%.
Nowadays, he'd be a hero.
Yes.
Because this week, our douchebag of the week, well, my douchebag of the week is just the fans. I think we all pretty much forgot how to act in stadiums. I mean, we were locked up for what, a year and a half almost, and I guess apparently everyone forgot how to be a fan.
I'm sorry, it goes with the times. I mean, not to go on a rant about like things today, but in all seriousness, there is no accountability because who has more to lose? Some fan that paid $120 for a ticket and they're going to get a lifetime ban from that arena, or a multi-million-dollar athletic talent who, if you touch somebody, you're screwed.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's the sad thing. I mean, at a certain point, there should be like something where you sign. You know how on the back of a baseball ticket, it's like, hey, if you get hit with a foul ball, like you're coming into a stadium where balls are hit at 120 mile an hour velocity at you.
Do they even put that anymore? Or do they apologize and give you money? Because that's what it is now, right? That's why they put the fences up.
Who knows, dude? But I'm assuming it's still back there as a liability. But you should be on the back of the ticket if like you interact with a fan in a negative way and they want to fight you, you have to like come down to the court and deal with it. You go fight a 7'2" monster and have fun. I'm sure the fans would be loving it.
Did you hear Charles Barkley? That was his comment. He was like,
love Charles Barkley.
He's like, you should be allowed to fight one fan a game.
Be amazing. Be amazing.
I will thumbs up that. Charles Barkley gets my thumbs up of approval for the week. Thank you, Sir Charles.
It should be like Escape from LA. You get on the court, you got to run full court, score 10 points, and we open fire. You, me? Just random fan.
If somebody did that at a Knicks game, they might get a contract. Nobody on this team scoring 10 points.
Imagine 82 games. Every game is a fight. Like your team you get to have 82 fights in the NBA.
Watch hockey. I mean, I'd watch basketball.
Yeah.
Tell me that wouldn't be like a Key and Peele skit. The burn victim, like so the guy in the wheelchair sitting there like, oh, come on, let me get involved. Like, dude, no, we feel bad. This is bullshit.
It's because I'm handicapped, isn't it?
Oh man.
There's a ramp. I can make it.
Wait, so that way I just want to go back. I don't want to talk about each one. I'm just gonna name how many interactions the fans have had that were negative within the past week.
Yeah.
So we have the New York fan who spit on Trae Young. He got a lifetime ban from the Garden.
He should be punched in the face. Spit on somebody's disrespectful.
Yeah, that's his horrible.
Utmost extent.
Then you have the Celtics fan who was actually arrested for throwing the bottle at Kyrie.
I think that's silly. Not the arrest, but the fact that they got him with assault with a potentially hazardous weapon.
Yes,
it's like, dude,
it's a water bottle. Yeah.
It's like every time somebody litters, you're gonna arrest them.
Yeah. Then you have the
choked a seal with that.
Yeah, then you have the event that started all this. Was the first one was popcorn and Russ Westbrook, and he almost Russ Westbrook. Russ Westbrook wanted to fight him. He was out to go into that standard fight, and I wanted it. He was going to pull a Ron Artest and just knock that dude out. Then you have in Utah, which is really strange because Utah, I feel like they're very polite. All those Mormons, they don't really drink, but they apparently that look there. It's true. Zach Wilson, he seems very polite. Lisa Wilson, they're all Mormons. They're from Utah.
I don't know. I don't think that they are.
I don't think they're Mormons.
I don't know. I made that up, but they are from Utah.
Bryce Harper is a Mormon, though.
Oh, Bryce Harper is a Mormon. But anyway, so Ja Morant's family got racial slurs thrown at them. Like
that's never cool.
Said at them, which wasn't cool. But the owner of the Utah Jazz actually made up for it, where he paid for their flights to Utah, their car, their hotel, the games, the tickets. He did everything for them, the whole nine. And apologized for his fans, obviously.
So speaking of fans, and T, you'll agree with me because you and I have been to games where we've done this. Me personally, if you're a heckler, the players are full game. You want to heckle a player about how he's playing on the field, whatever you want to do to bother that opposing player, by all means, you go right ahead. When you start talking about their family, you're an asshole now. And T,
can't go personal.
Do you remember a few years ago we were at a Yankee 100%. Game and who was it? It was he played right field for the Braves, for the A's.
Matt, wasn't he on the Mets?
He was a Met for a minute.
Jed Lowry.
No.
Jeff Francoeur.
Yes.
Jeff Francoeur is playing right
Who's
field.
one of the nicest guys. If you
One
ever
of the
watch
nicest
anything
guys.
on him, any interaction with him, is one of the nicest guys. And a Yankee fan starts getting personal with the guy, and me
Talk
and Nick
about
are
his
standing there
wife
like,
and stuff.
whoa, dude, nuh-uh, not
And
happening, not in our section.
We looked at him and we were like, now you crossed the line. Like, you could sit here and talk trash about him. Don't talk about the guy's wife. Don't talk about his kids. Like, they're people. And if you guys remember a couple years back, I mean, when I say a couple years, I probably mean like 15. I don't recall who it was. I want to say it was Fernando Abad, maybe. He's playing for Oakland, and somebody said something about his wife or his mom, and he picked up the chair and threw it at the guy, and it hit his wife. It was a big deal because he picked up a folding chair and threw it at the guy, and the guy ducked, and it hit his wife.
Very honorable.
And everybody felt so terrible, and I was just
that's
like,
what she gets for marrying a douchebag.
and that's what I thought. I was like, my mom would never let my dad do that. My mom would have been like, would have hit my dad and been like, for not, or sorry, he's an idiot. I hit him for you. But she was probably sitting there goading her husband on, like, ha, you're so funny. And then he ducked. He got hit by the chair. And I was like, okay, yeah, throwing a chair probably not a good look. But at the same time, listen.
I don't know, man. I'm down with the WWE chair throw.
You don't know. It was a cushion chair too, so you know it's a little heavy.
Got a little weight.
Cushion chairs are heavier than a regular.
Again, fight a fan night. Bring out the ladders, bring out the tables, put a belt up on a hook. Go for it. Somebody's getting speared.
The Knicks are about to get eliminated. They got hit with a chair, metaphorically speaking. But
you know what though? And Trae Young's sitting here and he's smiling, he's laughing. He plays for Atlanta, so at the end of the day, like, yeah, you could smile and win this series. You're still in a shitty city.
Have fun playing the Sixers.
Speaking of Philly's better than Atlanta.
Yeah, you have a fan run onto the court at the Sixers game. And then this is my personal favorite. I actually saw this on Barstool Sports, but a minor league baseball game. The guy threw the pitch in, hit the batter in the head. And then, like, no one from the other team came out or anything. All of a sudden, a fan comes running onto the field and is like, yo, let's go. And tries to score up with the minor league pitcher. And he's like, yo, what the fuck? And then, like, everyone from his team starts running in, like, about to fight this guy. And they had security come pull this guy away or whatever. And they pulled him away. But that was a wild scene. But
for me,
fans are forgetting how to act.
For me, being a baseball player for so many years, if I was a professional and a fan came out to fight my opponent, I'd probably fight the fan. At that point, you go full WWE, where like fans used to come into the ring to try to fight the heel, and the baby face would body slam them, even though like kayfabe, you're supposed to be the bad guy or the good guy, whatever. You're supposed to be enemies in the ring. Oh no. When you're on the field, you're all talent together. Because and I think this is something that we need to remember as either an athlete or as an athletic enthusiast, is that while you may not have your opponent, you got to respect them a little tiny bit. You may not like them, but you got to respect them, because most of the sports that we enjoy require there to be an opponent in order for the sport to be played. Like we ain't watching baseball games where the pitching machine is throwing. And we're not watching football games where they're just kicking field goals with no, like, that's not how it works. You need somebody on the other end, or else it's not even remotely worth watching. You're not watching practices sitting there going, oh, wow, this is amazing.
I do believe the opposing team for the minor league game did come out, and they were the guy who hit in the head, like, not he didn't do it, but his team, they came out and they were like pushing the guy away.
Well,
so they came out
next
too,
week.
because
next week it's you.
Yeah. I just think it's funny because how drunk that guy would be, like, I'm gonna fight this guy now. Coming up, he squares up with the pitcher.
When was
like,
this?
What the fuck? I don't know. It was this week. I saw it on Barstool. I didn't like save it or.
TJ, what were you doing this weekend?
No, it wasn't me, man. I was actually trying to fight a heel at a WWE exhibition.
Fast 9's coming out this week, and I am super excited.
Does that come out this week?
I think, is it this week or it's coming out soon? And I'm really, really excited because I didn't know it was coming out this soon.
You and 2 other people.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm excited too. Listen, I live for that, man. I still miss Paul Walker, man.
I know. I get really upset when I talk about the fact that he's not around.
Yeah, when they start jumping cars off of fucking planes out of 20,000 feet in the air, and it's like, oh, nobody can catch us. It's like, okay.
TJ, that's nothing compared to what happens in this movie. Vin Diesel jumps from a building onto a truck. Not a truck, onto a bus. And then from the bus, he gets on top of a car. And as he's on top of the car, another car flips towards him, and he catches the car. It's incredible.
How do you guys watch?
Wait, what?
Shit?
He catches the car in the trailer. He literally car flips up and he just grabs it like it hits him like straight on and it goes nowhere. He catches it. I don't.
Dude, at one point, are you fans that like these movies going to address the fact that like Vin Diesel is just out of shape, has a dad bod, looks like somebody that has like fucking pink Pringle crumbs on his fucking wife beater when he's sitting there watching the Knicks lose. Okay. And
it's describing me.
Yeah. Dude, just put on a wife beater and fucking race a car that goes wah, wah, with lights on the bottom of it. You can be in Fast 10.
I hope. Well, speaking of Fast 10, there actually was rumors that Universal wants to have merge the two franchises of Fast and the Furious and Jurassic World. So I'm going to be even more excited for Fast 10 when that happens.
Yeah, dude, I heard like Ian Ziering's going to come in, fucking Sharknadoes and shit.
It's Ian Ziering.
Yeah, whatever.
Nothing wrong with that. I'll take a little Steve Sanders coming in.
Oh my God.
When I think of Ian Ziering, I think he was Wild Wing on the cartoon The Mighty Ducks.
I always think of him from 90210. Steve Sanders.
Yeah, I'm straight, so I didn't watch 90210.
Well, something's wrong with you guys because 90210 was amazing.
I bet you love One Tree Hill.
Go back and I actually never watched One Tree Hill.
How is the Gilmore Girls reunion?
I did watch the Friends one recently. It was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. Making fun of me.
I didn't get a chance to see it.
Care.
My sister-in-law.
Nick wants to watch it.
I do. My sister-in-law invited me over, but I was celebrating my birthday, so I didn't get a chance to.
No, they did a really good job with the Friends reunion. I thought it was. I enjoyed it. You know, it was good. I didn't check my phone to check the scores. My scoreboard addiction went away.
I'm losing respect by the minute for you. What's next?
So obviously the Yankees are on an ugly, ugly slide that ended last night on a Clint Frazier 2-run home run in the 11th inning with Gary Sanchez on third, which let's not even get into that stupid ghost runner rule that everybody along the world of baseball seems to hate. And yet for some reason, Rob Manfred is just not going to renege on that. I personally don't understand it. I've yet to see one person in the baseball community go, that was a great idea.
He's a new Gary Bettman.
Yeah. Or either that or Gary Bettman's the new Rob Manfred.
No. Oh.
Yeah. So, but let's talk about the Yankees and what's going on with the hitting. What do you guys think? What needs to change?
It's anemic, and I just think that as a unit, they're not hitting. Listen, it's good to see Judge starting to get that average up. I think he was up to 293 starting today's game. But one thing I don't like, and it seems to be like a topic on New York sports radio, is everybody wants to like rag on DJ LeMahieu as if it's his fault he's not carrying the team with his batting average this year, as if the other years like meant nothing. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. Well, when you continue to run out players that can't hit and you insist that, well, they have to get out there and hit, or we're just going to put them in a lineup until they hit. And now it's DJ LeMahieu's fault that he's hitting mid 200s and not mid 300s. I think it's just a clown show. You're going to blame the player that's been consistent for years with you, and he's hitting below average, but still hitting better than most of your team. And that's who you want to place the blame on?
He's hitting below for his average. He's probably hitting average for the league.
Right. But it's I mean, come on. Look at their, look at their roster. Look at their hitting averages. Look at the fact that they continue to run out Gary Sanchez every year and try to act like he's a serviceable hitter and constantly putting him as a DH between him and Stanton. It's how many players are you going to have on the team that you're just like, oh, we just let them hit? That's it. That's the only good that we can get out of them.
So I think so. With regard to DJ LeMahieu, the people need to take into consideration that when your team's not hitting, even your best player is not going to hit. And reason being is the way lineups are built, players protect one another, right? So, once upon a time, let's go back to, 1990s. Bernie Williams batted fourth really. And Paul O'Neill would bat third. And Paul O'Neill probably saw better pitches because Bernie was going to switch hit the next batter,
right.
And it's the same thing with Bernie. Probably saw better pitches because Tino was behind him.
Right.
And this is throughout history, right? I mean, Babe Ruth saw better pitches to hit because Lou Gehrig was batting behind him. David Ortiz saw better pitches to hit because Manny Ramirez was batting behind him. And so goes on baseball. So if you're batting 350, right, and you're batting number 1 because Judge is batting number 2 and Judge is hitting 300, you're probably only batting 350 because they don't want to pitch to Judge.
Right.
Yeah.
But now Judge is batting 250. Stanton's batting 250. Everybody else in the team is batting sub 200. And LeMahieu's batting 270. And everybody's sitting there and look, oh, how dare you? Well, he's not getting those same pitches, guy.
But
he's not, because they don't care about pitching to the guy behind him. He's striking out too.
Right. But it goes on the Yankees because they want to continue to run these players out. What we have to hope Aaron Hicks gets hurt every year, so he's not in the lineup, or else he will be in the lineup doing absolutely nothing.
You know, it's and we've spoken about this, Rook. It's analytics, and analytics are the game anemic, like you said, when it comes to hitting, because the math that they're doing says that if you hit 40 home runs, you'll get 100 RBI and you can bat 200, but your OPS is the same and the amount of runs scored is the same regardless. So now guys are sitting there trying to hit 400 home runs to hit 40 home runs a season, and they don't care that they're batting 180 and that they can't hit in the clutch.
Nobody hits for contact anymore.
Nobody.
I also don't like with the
analytics. It's sad. There's only one guy on the whole Yankees team that's trying to hit for contact, and everybody hates him. It's Tyler Wade. He's the only guy I've seen try to lay down a bunt and get on base the whole season. He did it. I see him do it twice.
Well,
I don't think anybody else on his team can lay down a bunt.
No, they can't.
No,
maybe Gardner.
Yeah, well, I mean, the only hit he can get.
Yeah, well, I was going to say about
how long is that roll of the dice? Well, we have really nobody else to run out there, so we'll keep Gardner for another year. And I don't dislike Gardner, but at a certain point, I mean, he's going to continue to go out there and get paid. Who wouldn't? But his time has come and it's gone. I get that he's great for the team and he's a great, guy to have on the bench, but for the clubhouse. But it's his time.
That's what coaches are for.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Well, I was going to say about the analytics,
if you need somebody for the clubhouse that bad, that's what coaches are for.
Nick, about the analytics too is also like they all look at the numbers of like, oh, and this guy's on a 1-2 count, he's going to throw a curveball 90%, like 85% of the time. Then they're guessing for the curveball, and the fastball comes in, and next they're strikeout looking right there.
And it's a cock shot. It's a pitch that if it was the first pitch of the at bat, you tank that 450 feet for a home run.
Exactly.
And then speaking of home runs, you got to take into consideration that the ball's not flying this year. I mean, look at last night. Clint Frazier puts a swing on that ball, and the way I saw it was like, that ball is gone, right? It's a home run. It makes it to maybe the second row on a good day, right? The way I looked at it, though, was whether it goes and it's a home run, it's a hit, or he catches it. The inning is over by the time Clint Frazier gets to first base.
Yeah,
it didn't make a difference. People are like, oh, he stared at that ball a long way. I probably would too, just to see what would happen. I got to see how hard I got to run. Ultimately, there's a runner on third and 2 outs. Right. Whether it's a hit, a home run, or an out, I'm not going to be on this base longer. I just have to touch it. Then I got to touch first base. That's it. Yeah. That's all I got to do.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Although he did juice that freaking run around the bases, but you know what? Maybe he's getting a little hot right now. And
I was going to say that was a big hit for him because he was been cold. It boosted a little confidence there.
He's had a good week.
Ball out of the ballpark. Yeah.
Right.
And today he had 2 RBIs too again.
And going into the series with Tampa, who's been the bane of the Yankees' existence, I mean, it's good to see them pick up that win yesterday and tonight.
Hopefully they can nail it down tonight.
It's 4-3 right now, bottom 8. So they got, I don't know, is Chapman available tonight? I wonder if he is.
He was sick the other day, so.
Yeah, but they didn't even use him in Detroit because they got destroyed in Detroit. It's pretty crazy.
Lindor had a good night tonight. He batted 3 for 5.
The Mets have been hot. Mets have, what are they? I think they won 5 straight. They lost. They won 6 or 7.
They are they're 6 and 4, their last 10.
There you go, yeah. But I think they're 6 and 7.
But they're 6 games above 500.
Yeah, the Mets have been pretty hot. They've been doing it with all those injuries. They're getting healthy now too. So,
well, the NL East is a train wreck too. So.
And the NL East isn't that great, but they're still in first place. They stayed above first place. Remember last week we rattled off all those injuries.
Yeah.
Now
They're the only
back.
team in their division above 500.
Oh, well, yeah. It's no AL East then for sure, because AL East, like I think everyone's over 500 and
Except for Baltimore.
it. Yeah, except for Baltimore, yeah. So it's a tough division for the Yankees, easier division for the Mets. But I still think you got to give the Mets credit. All those injuries, they had a pretty good May, despite all those injuries. And then
You know what? I would say, and I think Met fans were upset about it, but I think that COVID stop at the beginning of the season actually helped them.
Yeah, because they were playing pretty bad in the first week. Then they had like a week off.
They had like a week off. Yeah, they're like 5 or 6 games behind everybody else right now still.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that plays out when they're playing double headers.
Yeah, I think they play 3 this month, and I think 3 like a week or something.
I mean, it's not like the old school double headers, but I don't mind.
Yeah, well, it's not 9 innings, but what's that?
I don't mind the 7-inning double headers.
I hate it.
I think it's weak.
hate it. Yeah.
Hey, you know what it is? I don't mind it if it's scheduled.
It's going to be weak when somebody pitches a perfect game through 7.
They already did it.
did.
Sorry, no, that was a no hitter through 7.
Same shit. What difference does it make?
Perfect game is different.
Didn't count.
Perfect day's been what? How many perfect games in the history of baseball? Like not even
19,
20.
I think. 19.
Yeah. That's what I mean. So you're gonna take that away from a guy that's like he's sitting there and go, oh, come out 2 more innings. I'm good. I don't like the 7 innings. I don't like the runner on second base in extra innings.
I don't like
any of this shit. I'm sorry. Baseball is baseball. Leave it alone. They want to. Oh, we're trying to make it more fan friendly, and that's not how you do it. I'm sorry. You're just pissing off all the fans that are still here.
You know what pisses me off is that they put all those rules in because of COVID, and they're like, we want to get the games over faster. We want to get everybody home, everybody safe.
Well, no, they wanted to get more games in a shorter amount of time.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also, like, another thing that pissed me off was that the one rule they took away is the one rule that should have stayed, which was the DH for the NL.
Yes, there should be a DH in the NL. Nobody wants to watch the pitcher bat.
No
Nobody wants to watch it.
And did you see Joe Kelly yesterday?
You know what the biggest travesty about the pitcher batting is? Minor league baseball pitchers do not bat. So now a kid goes from high school or college, goes through the minor league system for 5 or 6 years, gets to Major League Baseball. All right, kid, grab a stick. You're going to go bat against Jacob deGrom.
I just stand there.
And that's what they do.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. This idea that Shohei Ohtani can hit. Okay, he's injured every year too. He'll be injured in 3 weeks.
All right. Well, moving on. I guess that was baseball. All right, and getting on to some lighter side of sports world, some good stories from the PGA Tour. So now if you guys saw this, but you guys see Justin Thomas cut a check for this mini tour golfer who he was running out of money for his endorsements to continue his dream of playing the PGA Tour. So Justin Thomas invited him to play a practice round after he got cut from I think it was the Colonial this weekend. Yeah. That's what it was. And he said, come out, your dad, come out, we'll do a practice round, we'll play 18. At the end of the round, he pulls him and he's like, proud of you, doing a good job, and hope you continue your tour, dream of making the tour. And he gives him a handshake, and in his hand is a check. No one knows how much he gave him, but he basically endorsed this guy to help him continue his dream going. And I think it was very emotional that the guy was crying. His name is Michael Bisacki. Him and his father were both crying. They gave big hugs to Justin Thomas. It was a pretty good moment and pretty cool for the sport too. I see. I
absolutely love it. I just don't love how it was in front of the cameras. That always kind of, I think, sullies it for me.
Yeah, I don't know who recorded it. I don't know if it was someone happened to be. I mean, I'm sure someone. I don't know if it's someone from Justin Thomas's camp, or maybe someone from Bisacki's camp. I don't know. That could have been.
I don't think I don't want to come off like that because I don't think it takes away from it.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But I just don't like when. But then again, everything's in front of camera, so you really can't.
That's what I was going to say.
Justin Thomas still did a great thing, and it's awesome. And I mean,
that was his.
I'm not trying to sully it, but it's.
But so here it is, T. Right? Even if it wasn't in front of the camera, if it was me and he gave me the check, I would be telling everybody the next day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on social media,
right.
And then
so it would be out there regardless, no matter what.
I'm not saying it wouldn't. I'm not saying it wouldn't.
But just that was just his 2K21 check. That's all that was. He's on the cover of 2K21. That was his check.
That game's awesome.
That game is awesome.
I'm sorry, that game's graphics suck compared to the old Tiger Woods, and even Rory, which came out in 2009, has better graphics than that game. I'm sorry, that's a That's a sad game. I'm waiting for Mario Golf to come out later this year on the Switch. That's better graphics than
You're playing it on the wrong device.
right
Listen,
now.
this beast right here, it kills it with those graphics. All right,
2K21's not.
you can't see it, but it's beautiful.
I play on PlayStation 4 because I haven't bought a 5 yet.
Yeah, I play on PC.
Anyone want to buy me a 5?
If you had a 5 right now, I'd be like, how did you get a 5?
I don't know.
Somebody paid you in a freaking PS5?
Bought a little kid for it.
Yeah.
You fought a little kid for
I'll
it.
play you for one, all right? In Atlantic City.
You know what's crazy?
Twisted Dunes. What are you going to put up? I'll put up a PS5. What are you going to put up?
I'll put up an ice.
Wow. A case of ice, and you have a deal.
And then another good story from the PGA Tour. So a random fan, I don't even know who his name was. I found this on Twitter. Max Homa. Am I saying that right? Homa?
Yeah, Max Homa.
Max Homa. He a fan tweeted him 25 days straight on Twitter saying this is the first day I'm asking Max Homa to play a round with me. And then this is the second day. And then so and so until we got to the 25th. And Max is basically like, wow, that's some serious dedication, dude. He's like, I'm going to DM you right now. We're going to set this up, and we're going to play around together. Consistency pays off there.
Not that much dedication. I mean, it's like, what's next?
Do you guys remember when I tweeted at the Jets that I hated their uniform for like 2 months straight? You guys remember that?
Yeah, that's dedication.
For like 2 months straight, every day I was like, your uniform freaking sucks.
You know, think about it. For like the past 2 years, there's been probably like 100 comic book nerds like messaging the Russo brothers, like, bring back Tony Stark, day 787. Fuck you guys.
No, it was release the Snyder cut for 4 years.
The Snyder cut.
Yeah,
and they finally did it, and it sucked.
Listen, I appreciate what Max Homa was doing, playing with a random fan. I mean, you hope the guy's not a
psycho.
Yeah. I was about to say, you hope that guy's not like a total weirdo. You know what I mean?
That guy could be a psycho and stabs him when he gets to the first tee.
Seriously,
he's gonna have like a bodyguard with him.
Takes a freaking golf club and just wails on him with
it. Just shows up with like no golf bag, no golf balls, no tees, no nothing. Just smiles at him. It's like, all right, we got to get out of here.
He ends up being Robert De Niro, the fan.
Exactly. 100%.
You got to hit a hole in one to save your son's life, Max. In the torrential downpour.
Dude, you don't know what you're getting from the internet. It's the internet.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of freaks on the internet.
Hey, props to Max Homa for doing it. But that's a pretty cool story too. I think with the, I guess
it's cool, but it's opening up a door where there's like 50 nerds sitting there right now, like, hey, Christy Mack, this is day one of me trying to get something out of you. Please respond.
Scott Johansson. Day 50. Please don't be dressed as Black Widow.
Yeah, right.
That works too sometimes. Didn't Ronda Rousey go to like the Marine Corps ball with some Marine?
She did. Yeah, she did.
Yeah, but that's a service member. That's totally different.
And not only that, it's Ronda Rousey. I'm pretty sure she could beat his ass.
Probably.
Imagine having the balls to like Ronda Rousey. I mean, obviously she's with somebody. I think she's married now.
She is married.
Imagine like Ronda Rousey.
And her husband body slammed that dude that assaulted Bret Hart.
Yes.
And like gave him the business real good too. Like,
can you imagine like Ronda Rousey and Holly Holm sitting at a bar and you woke up like, hey. What are my chances? Can you choke me? Just once. One time. I don't want to be weird or anything.
Just give me a rear naked choke. It's just a little bit.
You don't got to be naked or anything. I'll be naked. Never mind.
She puts you in the choke. I just went from 6 to midnight.
Yeah. Shout out to Aldous Snow.
All right. Well, wrapping things up here. Last topic. Coach K retirement.
So I'm not a basketball fan, especially I'm not a college basketball fan. A bunch of kids that'll never play in the NBA, like I care. But I know who Coach K is, which just shows you how important he is to the sporting world and the sporting community. Because when you're a coach and people outside your sport that don't even watch your sport know who you are. But I probably couldn't. I don't know who does he coach for? North Carolina, Duke. So he coached good old Marshall Plumlee. I could probably name maybe 3 people he coached, but I know who Coach K is, and that's goes to show you how important he was to the sport overall.
Could you name those?
Jay Williams, JJ Redick, Marshall Plumlee. Bam! That's 3, baby.
Not Marshall Plumlee.
And when I say Jason Williams, I mean Jay Williams, not because he changed his name when the other Jason Williams went crazy and killed his limo driver.
Yeah, he did.
Jason Williams came out of college like that same year before he got into a motorcycle accident and ruined his life. But if I remember right, aren't you a huge JJ Redick fan? Aren't you a huge Duke fan?
Yeah, I am.
Rook is a Duke fan.
That's why I was going to go into this, and then you cut me off. But yeah, no, I mean it's big. It's a big announcement. Coach K's been there since like the 80s. He's won 5 national championships. He's been to 13 Final Fours, I believe, or something like that.
Didn't he coach Team USA?
He coached Team USA. Yeah, he those don't really count on his record because they don't give them gold medals. Did you know that the coaches don't get gold medals?
Listen, counts for me.
It does count, but
coaches America's team.
Count. But yeah, I mean it's kind of crazy. The funny thing is we were talking about this. I was talking about this with my brother and Gina, my sister, and about a couple of months ago, I'm gonna say, because Roy Williams also retired, who's head coach in North Carolina, and we were like, "Do you think Coach K retires next now that Roy Williams is gone?" And then we were trying to think of who would be the next coach. And then shout out to my sister Gina, who predicted it would be John Shire. And John Shire is going to be named the next coach, which I was actually kind of shocked they were naming him. I thought maybe they go with someone who had more experience because he's not actually coached in a college basketball team, but he's been like the assistant coach to Coach K for like at least like 10, 14 years or something like that since he graduated almost.
I think that's an important thing for me. And I think that if you'll notice, like coaches are getting a lot younger, and a lot of people are getting upset about who they pick to be coaches. If you notice, the guys that are picked to be coaches probably weren't the best players, and they probably became coaches because they couldn't play as good as they wanted to. Like Robert Saleh was a tight end in college. Obviously, he wasn't making it to the NFL, but wanted to continue to be a part of football, so he became a coach.
Well, Shire was pretty good in college. He won the national championship with Coach K.
Right.
And then he never became a pro. And I think like 2 years after he graduated, he became a coach.
But that's the thing that's what's happening with a lot of players that they don't make it to the next level. So they become coaches. And then 10 years down the road or 15 years down the road, they're 35. And other people are going, that's not fair that guy got that coaching job. That guy's been coaching for 15 years while you were playing for 15 years.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I think it still gives them more. I mean, they can relate to the players better, especially when they come right in. And
what if they were formerly players?
Yes.
No, I disagree. I have zero respect for you. I have zero respect for you. Like, because if you were just my teammate, I'm not taking orders from you as my coach, especially if I was better than you. Look at Jason Kidd. Look at Jason Kidd coaching the Nets.
Yeah, but look at Steve Nash.
Yeah, but
Steve Nash hasn't played in 10 years.
I'm just saying. But he was a superstar himself.
I understand that, but Jason Kidd literally went from 1 year playing with those guys, the next year being their coach.
I don't know, man.
And they were like, Jason, get on the bench. Like, get away from me. Don't talk. I'm better than you are. Don't talk to me.
I refer to
and those teams were awful.
I refer to the movie. I refer to Slapshot, the Charlestown Chiefs. You had a player coach. What's better than that?
It's not a thing anymore. You know who was a player coach? Joe Torre on the Mets. They sucked too.
They were the Mets.
Just saying.
Shout out to Chris McCormick.
Shout out to Chris. Always a shout out to Chris McCormick. Always.
I'm not a drink, so shout out Chris. But no, I mean it's actually kind of crazy because I remember like I guess when you're just watching them and like every year and you never really think of the time like when Coach K is actually going to retire. And it's like
still looks good too.
It'd be weird. Well, he dyes his hair, but he's like 72, 73. It's true, he does have it. Well, does he? Could be.
You got to dim the light when you do that.
Could be a rug. Yeah.
I'm rocking the Saleh. All right, me, Dom Toretto, and Robert Saleh are holding it down.
He takes
for
it
the youth.
It's like the Ark of the Covenant. You're like,
dude, just throwing a Tyrannosaurus Rex and you have a Hollywood hit.
Family.
But as I was saying, it's going to be weird not having Coach K on the bench next, well, not this year, but the following season.
Yeah.
And Jon Scheyer taking over. I mean, it'd be weird. Gonna miss you, Coach K. Shout out, Coach K. And, yeah, it's been a long tenure there. Obviously, it's gonna be a very strange transition, but I trust. I mean, I think he was part of the process of hiring, so I think he kind of put his input towards Jon Scheyer. And Jon Scheyer's been underneath him, learning from him for how many years now. So I think Duke's would be in good hands.
I think that's an important thing, though. Like, if you learned from him, you should have some semblance of how to continue on that legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you talk about coaching trees, right? That's what we always talk about, coaching tree, especially like in football. Bill Parcells' coaching tree is such a myriad of head coaches in the NFL, and they were doing that a little bit in basketball with Phil Jackson. They had a little Phil Jackson coaching tree going on because I think Steve Kerr played for him at one point. And what's his face? The previous Golden State coach played for him. Mark Jackson, who was in Eddie, by the way. So they talk about that a lot. And Robert Horry played for Phil Jackson. Robert Horry's a coach now, isn't he?
I don't know if he's a coach now. I don't know.
Is he? I could have sworn he was. Maybe I'm crazy. But anyway, neither here nor there. But they talk about that a lot, and I think that that's kind of important, especially when you're talking about recruiting. Some of these guys, they're great coaches because they recruit well. Nick Saban, he probably recruits better than he coaches because, guys go to Alabama to win championships because he's going to recruit 5-star recruits up and down. When Florida State was still competitive, Bobby Bowden was recruiting up and down. Jimbo Fisher was there with Bobby Bowden. They were recruiting up and down, and then they hire somebody who wasn't on either staff, and their recruiting went out the window. And they are what they are now because of that. And they've got to start basically from where they were in the early 80s when Bobby Bowden first came on. So luckily for Duke, maybe this kid can keep it going because he has that Coach K lineage for certain.
You want to hear something really funny about the fact you just called him a kid? He's 33.
This kid, we're old.
He's our age.
I'm 34.
So I also looked up Robert Horry coaching. So he's not a coach, but what came up is Robert Horry once fought a coach at his son's game. So
solid.
So
did he have it coming?
I don't know. I didn't read the story, but it said if you search Robert Horry coaching, that comes up.
I was thinking of Horace Grant as a special advisor on the Bulls.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Ori, Horace.
Yeah.
I think Horace Grant also played for Phil Jackson.
Samsonite. I was way off.
I'm pretty sure he played for Phil Jackson when he was the Bulls.
He did. Horace Grant did.
Yeah. So that's who I was thinking of.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But and look at Mike. Mike played for Phil Jackson too, and he's running an organization as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's all that connections. I mean, I think there's several coaches in college basketball that have all either played for Coach K or have coached with like an assistant coach.
Right.
To Coach K as well. So he's got a coaching tree.
See, but I want my coach to be Bobby Knight. Throwing chairs at people and locking them in closets and stuff. That's what I want.
My only dig at Bobby Knight is the first season of Parks and Rec. He was on Ron Swanson's wall, and he actually called the show and was like, yeah, you got to take that down.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not cool. I take it back now. Everything I said about Bobby Knight, I take back.
His people or whatever happened, they didn't want to be like the butt of the joke almost as like Ron Swanson's fiery and does what he wants. And, but that's sad. I mean, come on.
That is sad.
Ron Swanson's a true American.
Yeah, he is.
Can I have some of that turkey bacon?
Give me all the bacon and eggs you have.
No, when he goes to the thing and they have like that fake bacon, and he's just like throwing it in the trash. Can I have another one? Trash.
No, the best is when he's going to slaughter the pig in the park. And he's like, I have a permit for that. And he says, I can do what I want.
Oh, man.
Oh, it's a tie game. Golden Knights.
You didn't notice that?
Yeah.
I was going to say something, but you were getting all emotional about Coach K.
It was.
I'm pretty sure I saw.
That's what you get for focusing on basketball when hockey's on.
I saw a single tear fall from your face, and then I was like, "Oh God, he's getting into it right now."
Yeah.
So who's the coach after Coach K and after Roy Williams, right? Roy Williams is a basketball coach.
Yeah, Roy Williams is retired as well.
Basketball coach, NASCAR driver, wide receiver, and free safety. That's all the Roy Williamses we have, right?
They hired who they hired. They hired a former player as well. Kind of like.
I just want to acknowledge that Roy Williams is a free safety, a wide receiver, a NASCAR driver, and a college basketball coach. I've never heard of a man who is so well-rounded.
I can't. Here we go. Hubert Davis. Yeah, Hubert Davis used to play.
That poor bastard. Why would you name your child that?
And he's there. And you know who else was actually really good this year was Michigan's coach, Jawan Howard. He was part of the Fab
Five. Yeah.
And he took them to, I think they went to Elite Eight or something. They're like a number 1 seed, but they had a really good year for his first year. So these former players turned college basketball coaches have been pretty successful. So
yeah, hopefully
the same happens to John Shiver. We won't know for quite a while, but we'll see. Hopefully Coach K goes out on top because that'd be awesome.
It's also good that he said it now, and now he's the heir apparent. And that was something that happened with Jimbo Fisher at Florida State was that Bobby Bowden was going to retire. Jimbo Fisher was his offensive coordinator, and he was like, "Yeah, Jimbo's going to be the next head coach." Yeah. So the players that were already there already knew, like, all right, that's going to be the next guy. I know who I need to start sucking up to.
Yeah, but college basketball is different. It's like
one and done.
One and done. So like, well, they have a really good recruiting class coming in for Duke. Last year they missed the tournament, so
but even then, he's there when they're doing that recruit.
Yeah, he is.
He's going. Like he's going to be a part of that conversation.
So John Shire was actually responsible for recruiting Zion Williamson to Duke.
I forgot he went to Duke.
Yeah, and I forgot who. There's somebody else too. They said he was.
Zion Williamson's playing the wrong sport, by the way. He should be playing tight end or something.
Is he one biscuit away from being a tight end?
Wait, speaking of it, is Kelvin Benjamin a tight end or is he a wide receiver?
He's a wide receiver. The Giants signed him.
I got that, but I could have sworn they were like he's going to play tight end, and then now, and then after they signed him, they were like, we've signed wide receiver Kelvin Benjamin.
I don't think they said it was a tight end though.
No, when he got there, they're like, yeah, we're trying him out at tight end, and then we signed wide receiver, and I was like, so what is he playing?
Right. You know who's going to be a tremendous tight end this year is Tim Tebow.
Oh yeah. Actually, you're right, Nick. They said he is there. I was working him at tight end, Calvin Benjamin. So he finally ate that Popeyes biscuit to become a tight end. Good call, Booger McFarland.
Why is it got to be Popeyes, man? Why can't it be like Cracker Barrel?
I don't know. That sucks, dude.
You suck. By the way, how about Sean Avery throwing it out there? Maybe little Patrick Waugh hiring.
Oh,
the Rangers.
He did say that.
Yes, he did.
We have to go on to this.
Wow.
We have to talk about this for a second.
Tell me that wouldn't be tremendous.
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
Was that some insider information he gave us?
I don't know, but my
Sean
God.
Avery first. Sean Avery to
We're breaking that here right now. I just want to point out we're breaking it right here. You heard it here first. The Scoreboard Addicts podcast. All right, I almost said Scoreboard. Yeah, the Scoreboard Addicts podcast. All right. Sean Avery on my birthday, these two jabrones right here, they got Sean Avery to wish me a happy birthday. And in that cameo birthday message, all right, Sean Avery said I could see the Rangers signing Patrick Waugh. All right. So if you haven't heard that, and that's to beat the head coach, obviously. If you haven't heard that, you heard it here first. Sean Avery, thank you to the king. Throwing that out to the Scoreboard Addicts podcast. If it happens, wow, we just broke it. All right.
Yep.
Broke it.
Boom.
I'm wearing the Avery right now because he wished me a happy birthday.
First time. That's not why you're wearing the Avery, because the Avery will never go out of style.
That's a fact. I got this Valentine's Day, 2009 or something like that. 8 maybe.
Yeah. And Sean Avery said it's actually a fashion statement.
It is. So from all of us here at the Scoreboard Addicts podcast, we'd like to thank you for staying with us. Please remember to like and subscribe. on these 2 locations right here. Actually, 3 locations right here. All right. Apologies to Matt Damon. We had to bump you this week. With me always, you have Anthony the Rook. TJ is hammered, and I'm Nick Jabberjaw. Thank you very much. Have a good night, folks.
Good night, folks. Stay safe.
Later, guys. Thanks.
Stay rock.